I think we are live. Hi again. Can someone just give me a thumbs up if you can see and hear me? Okay, brilliant. Now, if you were on the last live with me, which was last Friday, 1st of May, you'll remember that I introduced you to the Confident Roadmap. Actually, I'll just bring the slide up. I'll just show you it again. Should be able to see that now. So this is a 9-step framework that will help you build your business with clarity, control, and confidence, even in these uncertain times. And over the next few sessions, what I'm going to do is unpack the system step by step, starting today with the clarity step, step 1. By the way, if you want a copy of this map, just comment map in the comments and I'll get it over to you. Just going to bring me back up now. Something I've observed a lot is that a lot of business owners struggle, not because they don't care, not because they're not working hard enough, but because they're not clear about what they're building, or they're not as clear as they think they are about what they're building. A lot of people ask, how do I grow my business? I prefer a different question. What do you want your business to actually give you? What do you actually want your business to give you? Because your business is not the destination. Your business is the vehicle that transports you to the destination. And this is where a lot of people get caught out, including yours truly in the past. Because what happens is we get busy. We get busy building something that can look successful on paper. But in reality, what often happens is we build a business that eats into our time, it drains our energy and gives us less of a life, not more. So be honest with yourself. Is your business right now giving you more life, or is it taking it away? And then consider that if nothing changes, what's that going to look like in 12 months' time? Could it mean even more hours, even more pressure, even less freedom? Now, I've been lucky enough to have been in business for 40 plus years, and in that time, I've learned a little bit. And some of what I've learned is that without clarity, you can often end up saying yes to the wrong things. You can find yourself chasing bright, shiny opportunities instead of building something intentional. And you stay busy, but you don't move forward. And over time, that can create the feeling of, well, I'm working really hard, but I'm not actually getting any closer to where I want to go. There's also a hidden cost to that in terms of decision fatigue. Because when you're not clear on where you want to go, you don't know, it makes decisions so much harder and you have to make so many more decisions. So think about it. How much of your energy right now is being used just trying to figure things out? Not actually doing the work, but deciding what work needs to be done. Last week, I was speaking to a really nice guy, actually the week before last, and he was working long hours, flipping long hours, 85 hours a week. And when we dug into what he was actually doing in those 85 hours, truth is he was doing a lot of the right things. But when I asked him what he was actually building here, he couldn't answer that clearly. And that's not unusual because we get so busy doing the work that we sometimes forget to stop or slow down and step back so that we can design the business that we want. And there are 3 big gaps that I often see. Firstly, there's no clear long-term picture. There's a guy, Cameron Herold, wrote a book, Vivid Vision, and it's well worth a read, by the way. But if you haven't got a vivid picture in your mind of what your business looks like, it's really hard for you to communicate with anybody. And most people in business are focused on this week, maybe this month, but they're not focused on how is that contributing to a bigger picture. Secondly, a lot of people have vague goals. Vague goals like, I want to grow my business. Great. Okay. By how much? By when? With what profit? With what structure? And then thirdly, there's no alignment between the business and the business owner's life. And this is the big one. It's a biggie. Because you build a business, but never stop to ask, what do I actually want this to give me? So let's just say for a second, your business was working perfectly. And if your business was working perfectly, what would your life actually look like as a result of that? Because for me, that's where clarity really starts. So at my company, MPC, we flipped the way most people think. And instead of starting with business questions, we start with life questions, getting really clear on things like, how much free time do you want to have? How do you want to be spending your days? How do you want to be spending your energy, your income, your freedom? And then we ask a really important question. Financially, what does that lifestyle actually cost? Because if you don't know that, how do you know what your business needs to produce? And how do you know when you're on or off track? Or are you just hoping that one day you'll arrive there? But hope isn't the strategy, and there isn't the destination, is it? And there's something else that happened in here as well, because part of our brain, is something at the back here called the reticular activating system. The reticular activating system, RAS for short. And the job of your RAS is simple. It filters what you noticed based on what you've told it matters. Which means if you're not clear, your RAS doesn't know what to look for. That can mean that opportunities pass you by and your focus drifts because nothing's been clearly defined. As an example, have you ever noticed that when you do make a decision, you want something that you want, you suddenly start seeing the thing you want everywhere? The classic example is a car. You might decide you're going to get yourself a new one, a certain model, and even a certain colour. Then suddenly you start seeing the same model in the same colour everywhere. Now that's not luck or bad luck in this case. That's clarity. And once you've got clarity on the lifestyle that you want and what it's going to cost, you now know what the business has to give you in terms of income for you to be able to comfortably live that lifestyle. And then armed with that information, we're now able to reverse engineer the business. We can ask, what revenue do we need? What profit do we need? What structure is needed to support that business? And that means you're no longer guessing, you're now designing. So let me ask you, have you ever actually worked out what your ideal life costs? Or are you just hoping that the business will someday cover it? Another question that I like to ask that very few people can answer without a lot of and ahhing is what are you actually trying to create here in terms of the business? Do you want a mediocre business, a quite good business, a good business, a very good business, a best in region business, or even a best on planet business? Because the level you choose determines the decisions you make after that decision has been made. And if you don't make that decision, you're just leaving it to chance. Now, I'm sure you'll agree that I would guess that nobody has ever answered that question to, I want to create a mediocre business. But the thing is that I'm sure you'll agree, there's lots and lots of mediocre business about. And I think that happens because people aren't asking this question. The other thing is I've been 18 years in this role now, and I've only ever had one person answer that question with world class. And that throws up another bunch of questions, which we'll park for now. Now, for me, it's no accident that business now operates in multiple countries across this planet. Also, clarity doesn't just change your business. Clarity changes how you show up as a leader, because you're able to make faster decisions. You're going to stop second guessing. You're going to be able to communicate your direction better. And here's the thing. If you're not clear on where the business is going, how can your team be? How can your team be? Because people don't just buy into tasks. They do buy into direction. We all want to be part of something that's bigger than ourselves. So could your team clearly explain where your business is going right now? Now, if you take nothing else from today, take this. Clarity is not about working harder. It's about knowing what you're building and why. Because when clarity improves, decisions will get faster, focus will sharpen, and momentum will build. So on a scale of 1 to 10, where 10 is crystal clear and 1 is don't ask, how clear are you right now on what you're building, why you're building it, and what it's meant to give you? If you want to share your score in the comments, you can. And if you're not at a 9 or 10, that's great, because it presents you with one heck of a huge opportunity. And if you want a way of simply start improving that clarity, I've put something together which is 44 lessons from 44 years in business, which is 44 practical lessons that you can start applying into your business straight away. Just comment confident in the chat and I'll get it sent over to you. Now, in the next session, which is tomorrow, same time, same place, we're going to move into the second step. I'll just bring the map up again. We're going to move into second step, obstacles. Because when you're clear where you're going through the clarity step, the next question is, what's actually getting in the way? What's going to stop you? And more importantly, how do you remove those barriers? How do you remove those barriers so you can start moving forward again, actually? Now, because for me, clarity shows you where you want to go. Obstacles shows you what's going to stop you from getting there. Okay, I'm going to pause it there for today. And if you found this useful, make sure you're following so you don't miss the next session. And if you're recognizing this in your business and you're not quite sure the best way to fix it, drop me a message and we'll set up a conversation and we'll get really clear on what's going on and what needs to change. But until tomorrow, where we go live, same time, same place, you go and create some real momentum in your business. Thanks for joining me.